So, is this live? What? Okay, I should be live again. Right, okay, cool. Damn it, that was so stupid. I just lost 4 viewers that I had on the fucking channel. Okay, hi. I don't know how to fix this fucking. Hello? Okay, there. Hello? 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 Let's see, Twitch. Bear with me as we're going through technical difficulties. No.
Let me scroll down to
No,
see.
no, 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 no.
Um,
No.
Let me scroll down to
No,
see.
no, 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 no.
Um,
No.
Let me scroll down.
No, 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 no. Oh my god, that sounds so amazing. Oh my god, that sounds so amazing. Oh my god, my microphone is like so crystal clear. I'm literally so obsessed right now. Oh my god, my microphone is like so crystal clear. I'm literally so obsessed right now. Oh my god, my microphone is like so crystal clear. I'm literally so obsessed right now. Okay, the only thing is that okay, so we're streaming. But what if I wanted the chat to appear on the side? Why is it saying that I'm on? No, I should not be on hot tubs. Okay, bear with me as I fix some of the issues here. Because I shouldn't be on hot tubs. Fix some of the issues here. Because I shouldn't be on hot tubs. Fix some of the issues here. Oh, I'm not. Okay, great. Okay, I'm not. And then I want to put the chat on overlay. New comments will display here. Wait, did that actually work? Because amazing if it did. Channel. Because amazing if it did. I don't think it did. Wait, did it? Because amazing if it did. Hello. I don't think it did. Wait, did it? Hello. No, it's not coming up. It's not coming up. No, it's not coming up. It's not coming up. It's not coming up. Okay, maybe there. Okay, great. We're gonna go. Okay, great. We're gonna go. Okay, great. We're gonna go. That's so funny. Hi. It's not coming up. Hello. Okay. What? Okay, interesting. So, hi. It's me, Jen. I haven't been around for some time. I last time I was here, I was discussing life in Findom, and today I actually recorded an audio to help me actually get in the mindset of self worth and self value because it just wasn't working out for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that type of kingster, but I couldn't say fuck you pay me all the time. I couldn't get someone to be my long-term submissive. It's a lot harder than it seems. Um because after you get the initial like just people just sending you just to send, I don't know. It was difficult. Anyway, grapes are really good. Anyway, all to say is I recorded a kind of motivational self-worth audio and I told myself like don't come on until you have completed the next step, which now I have to edit it and I have to get to know GarageBand because I don't know how that works. Because I want to add effects. Like I want to add this sort of echo sound, so it's more like, you know, like a trance, and being able to bounce back and forth from ear to ear, and then putting motivational music in the background. So that's on like not on hold, but it's not on the forefront right now. I wonder why the chat's not coming up. That upsets me a little bit. Okay, never mind that. I'm just gonna put this to the side. So, I, my best friend and I want to so badly just come and chat with you guys about life, dating, sex, and all these things. I told him that I was really into watching this video by Hunter Schafer, who's one of America's known actresses who's transgender. She's also in the show Euphoria. And she's going to give her testament during this Call Her Daddy episode. And I wanted to watch it so badly. And I wanted to comment it with him so that you can see the chemistry between us. It's like back and forth, bouncing, joking. But he's in Vegas partying. And I wanted just to test this mic as well. I got this Razer mic, which is a Razer Mini. It's so cute and I love it. And I like him and I can do another interview in the future. But anyway, without further ado, here we are. Hunter Schafer's interview on Call Her Daddy.
Much. I am so happy you're here. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Like I just told you, not the vape. Not the vape coming out as you're like, thank you so much. This is how comfortable I'm feeling right now. So, but this means the world to me. I just have to start off and say because my sister,
she seems like so feminine to me. Like there's no, this is a woman.
We're gagging, and I'm so excited. I love you. Okay, little do you know, I really love you because I have to tell you a story. Okay. So I think it was a year ago. We were this close to each other, and you had no idea probably. We were in Milan, and I was sitting. Were you at the Prada show? Yes. I do remember seeing you there. Okay, this is. Were you there? Okay. Hunter's sister is in the room, and she's saying she saw me freaked out. Okay, this is why life is so fucking stupid because I was standing with my videographer, and I was like, oh my god, it's Hunter. And he was like, go say hi to her. And I was like, no, like, that's weird. He was like, no, go say hi. I'm like, no. Like, I believe one day we're going to meet in a non, like, weird or, like, moment where I'm,
is like, it lagging?
That's totally how I feel about people, too. Like, that I...
Wait, hold on. Is it lagging? Let's see. Oh, no. Okay.
Gag over is like if I know that we're gonna, because you have that feeling about people sometimes where you're like, I know I'm gonna keep you with this person. I'm like, I don't want to fuck it up. But I'm so happy you're. Okay, tell me about your outfit. How did you pick this outfit? We're loving it. Okay, thank you. You know, this is like, well, and we were just talking about this kind of is like I always feel like the image that I put out into the world, like on Instagram, whatever.
How do I hear this?
Like the drag version of who I am, and it's like an image that I put together to like give to the world, and like that is not how I dress and act in real life, and so but like this
shit up off the floor and put a little stupid outfit together, and that's what this is.
It's really cute. And I'm happy that you're comfortable, and that is the key here, like coziness.
Yes, and RuPaul also, bitch, okay, can I just say, that interview, like, face cracked it. Like, that interview impacted me so much, and also I lived for her outfit, for her give with the, oh my god.
It was so incredible because I remember, like, you're kind of talking, like, similar with, like, Rue, like, presents a specific...
Oh no, it's not lagging. Okay, that's great. Wait. Wait, what just happened? Wait, what just happened? Wait, what just happened? Wait, there's so many things going on. Wait, there's so many things going on. Wait, there's so many things going on.
And so, like, at some point, I had to be like, okay, I need to do something with, money. And so, yeah, I've been looking for a house. I finally found this beautiful house, and I moved in, September of last year.
Okay.
And I've started on the whole, like, now I'm going to hire people to make. I tried doing the whole, I'm gonna buy furniture by myself. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
It's so fucking hard.
Are you doing that?
Oh my god, I literally left it to my husband because, like, back in the
Your husband is? You let your husband do it?
No. I know this sounds insane, Hunter, but, like, Matt has incredible taste.
Okay.
He has, like, perfect taste. And I'm like, now I just let him do his thing because I'm gonna be honest. I decorated my first New York City apartment where I first lived alone for the first time ever. And I was like, watch me, bitch. Like, this is gonna be so gorgeous. I got the couch, and the couch sat there for so long, and I'm like, how do you make a space look good?
This.
And I see Pinterest, and I see, like, even Urban Outfitters, like, it looks so... How do you make a space look good?
This.
And I see Pinterest, and I see, like, even Urban Outfitters, like, it looks so... How do you make a space look good?
Okay, no. Okay, I think it's streaming fine. It's streaming fine. I don't know why it looks lagged.
So cute, and then I buy it and it looks like fucking shit.
Yes.
So then I hire someone, and now I hired my husband to do it. So
amazing. Good.
If you want, he'll come over now.
I wish I had a husband that had amazing taste. That is not my fucking case, Diva. I like, yeah. So I went through the exact same spiral of like, okay, wait, I look at couches, and then I'm like, wait, but like, and this is so, I hate, it's so like,
It's okay, go off.
first world, whatever.
Go off.
Like, I look at this amazing couch, but then, like, if I spend a bunch of money on this couch, and then the carpet changes everything.
I mean, yeah, I struggle
Girl,
with the fucking same.
I tried.
Josh would have been perfect for this fucking podcast because he is the king of design, and the fact that he's not here on this call makes me upset, but that's okay. But let's check out how old Hunter Scafer is. She's 25 years old. I don't know what made me think that she was a little bit more sophisticated, but now hearing her talk, I'm like, she's just a normal girl.
It's getting started. Everything in my house right now is completely covered in sawdust because the roof just got done and it all came through the ceiling. It's insane. So,
Okay, well, it doesn't maybe matter because you're leaving.
No.
Can we talk about this?
So this is all gonna happen while I'm away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me. You walk in here and you're like, bitch, you caught me at a great time. And I'm like, wait, why, Hunter, why? Tell me.
Okay.
What is happening?
Okay, so yes, you have caught me for this interview
So cute.
I've had a fucking week. My sister knows this.
Okay.
I've had a fucking crazy week. So I got this. It wasn't necessarily an offer, but people, the casting people for this TV show came to me like a little over a month ago and asked if I was interested, and initially, and this is something we'll get into too, is I don't think, I feel like I did TV and that was such a great intro to acting, but since moving into films, I realized I love the film format so much more because TV is it's a beast. It's a beast. And so I was really like under the impression with myself that I was not gonna do TV again after Euphoria is over.
Okay.
But
is Euphoria over?
So I initially,
does anyone know?
I don't think I can. I mean, this sounds really cool, but I just don't think I can do it again. Okay. And then so they went off, and they tried, they tried casting people, and then they came back a little over a week ago, and we're like, hey, we just want to gauge your interest again because we really think you could be really right for this. And so I was like, okay, I need a meeting with y'all to like show me really what you're trying to accomplish here. It was an amazing meeting, and I was like, fuck, I feel like the universe is like handing me this thing right now. It's not what I thought I was gonna get.
Oh my God, I love those situations where it's like you don't know what you're gonna get, and yet this surprise kind of molds and like paves your journey, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad that happened.
$20.99 in TV show format.
Wait,
it's very cool.
Wait, what? What did she say?
Like, insane.
Thank you.
And when you have meetings like that, when you say, like,
what did she say?
Continuation. Can I say what it is? It's Blade Runner 2099. So there's the initial Blade Runner from the 80s, and there's 2049 from 2019, and so this is the continuation, 2099 in TV show format.
Wait,
it's very cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's like insane.
Thank you.
And when you have meetings,
I don't think she knows.
Like it goes well. Like,
I don't think she knows Blade Runner and Blade Runner. I mean, I don't, but I could tell that she was like, "That's insane! Congratulations! Let's move on from this."
Like I was not looking to be an actor. It's not what I thought I was gonna do with my life. I still question whether it is. So this week has been this whole process of being like, shit. I am being handed these incredible opportunities on a silver fucking platter, and while it might not be why I thought I was put on this earth to do, like this is what I'm being fucking called to do right now. Right. And so that's been like a big processing moment, and
that's so cool.
And I think
Can you imagine
me to like head into this project and just like fully like just dive in head first and like give myself to it,
Okay.
Can I be selected? Can I be next? Can I volunteer as tribute?
You are doing. So you grew up in North Carolina, and obviously that's so fucking different than LA. What is your hometown like? Can you describe it?
Yeah.
I feel like now it's been how long? It's been 9 minutes into the interview, and she feels more relaxed, a little bit more authentic.
Growing up there, being queer in the South, anybody who's queer in the South knows it's not fucking easy. It's really, culturally, it's in a completely different place than like the bubbles in the cities that we live in. And I always knew that I didn't belong there, and that I belonged in these spaces where I can like be myself and like not feel like there's a target on my fucking back all the time. I really hated it, and like I'm not gonna lie, like growing up there, like fucked me up. I have now come to love it because I can return there in all my bad bitchery, and like know that I'm fierce and I don't feel like a fucking nuisance for existing in North Carolina now. So I love it now, but growing up there it was tough. I did not like it. Yeah.
What were you like as a kid? Like in this environment, describe yourself.
One of my like, I guess, afflictions with life is I have never been able to really help but be who I am. And so even before I transitioned, and I transitioned in my first couple years of high school, but before I transitioned, I'm just like, can I say bad words? I mean, like, yes, yeah, please. Like, so I'm just like this little faggot. Like I'm like an extremely high femme boy in this, space of like, boys are like very one way, especially in the South. Like it's just culturally what it is. I'm so thankful that I have not really been given a choice to be anyone. But
Shit. Continuity camera. Shit, that was so scary.
Who I am. So I always stuck out like a sore thumb. But I loved, like, I'm extremely artistic, pretty happy. I've always had like a pretty easy access to like joy. I think. So like despite my circumstances, you know, I look back on my childhood, and despite being in a certain amount of pain just for being who I am, I was a pretty happy kid, you know?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the South, you're right. As
I
like
can't
growing
imagine.
up, if
Holy
you are
cow.
queer in the South, like still to this day, it's crazy to say like kids are having a hard time. Even in fucking California, they have a hard time, which is even fucking crazy to say. So when you're growing up in that environment, I know you have 3 siblings and you're the oldest.
Yes.
Being the oldest, was it hard to like open up to your siblings, or were they like there for you? Like what was that dynamic?
I would say the siblings was on the easier end, because I think that I mean, like me and Hannah, like because we're so close in age, so we were in the same schools, and because nobody really understood like what I was doing, I think, you know, we had our trials and tribulations as siblings, and we've taught, you know, we've moved far beyond that now, and
what does that
my
mean?
siblings are some of the closest people in my life now. But
I would think that
I think it was
the sibling that's closer in age would be like the most understanding.
what, like I was going through, and why I stuck out like a sore thumb.
I don't know.
And, you know, whatever.
But as happy as you were, that like makes me sad for any kid that's like going through something that's like indescribable in your mind at that point. Did you have a hard time in school? Like what was your middle school like?
Middle school was probably the hardest, actually.
Okay.
You know, young teenage boys are pretty gnarly, especially when they're confronted with like a kid who they just don't know what to do with, like they have no grasp of like queerness, whatever it is. So it's like oh, like look at this look at this gay kid, like they just don't know what to do with it, and so they'll be mean, you know. And you know, so that was always tough, just dealing with boys who don't, of course, get it. But I found my cute little nerdy friend group, and you know, and that was like my first experience of like, okay, if I find my circle, I can be myself and I'll be okay. So that was cool. But middle school is also when I realized I was gay, or like at that time I thought I was a gay boy. So came out.
Who did you come out to first?
My friends. So like, and that's the thing of like, okay, I have this network of support where even if my parents and don't accept, okay, these people will get me. So they were the first people I told, and then I would, you know, tell my parents, tell my family, whatever.
Your parents, so your dad was a pastor growing up?
My parents are still pastors. Yeah, so my dad is a pastor, and my mom is, you know, she's ordained to be a pastor. She works in the children ministry in the church.
How is that possible?
Talk to me about that, because just like thinking of like what you were going through as a young kid, being in the South and having your dad like a part of the church,
in the church.
How did that work out?
It's like another layer to it all of and thankfully, you know, I didn't grow up in Catholicism or anything, and I hear about, you know, people in my community who grew up in that, and it's like, oh, girl, I'm so fucking lucky that I got to grow up in a normal, even though my parents are pastors and I'm very involved in the church.
That's so aggressive.
On the chiller side of Christianity, Presbyterian church.
Oh my god,
because
Catholicism is like
insane.
Like you're gonna burn alive.
Yeah.
Like I am.
Yeah. So there was never like this, oh, you're going to hell. But then I would see things about just Christianity in general, where there are churches that like believe you're going to hell.
It's insane.
And so that was this whole complex that I had to get through too. And then, but thankfully, when I came out as gay to my parents, you know, I think anybody could have fucking told you by looking at me that I was gay at the time. So that was easier. Then the trans thing came on later on. That was a bit harder. But
did you feel like, not even just you as an individual, like did you and your siblings feel like you guys had this like expectation around you? Like I'm thinking like TV shows, and I'm like the pastor, like I'm thinking like Seventh Heaven back in the day. Like I don't know, like did you guys feel like you had to like live up to this like reputation almost?
I think it was there. And this is something that I definitely dealt with later on too in life of like, because there's this whole like pastor's daughter like trope, you know, and it gets kind of tough because obviously like what I do now is very like, I mean, my first job when I had to tell my parents.
My God, she's like so ADD. She's just like me.
In the first episode, I'm
Having
anal sex with a 45-year-old and cutting myself in the arm, like all this stuff. And then, my first thought is like, okay, they have to tell their congregation that their kids aren't going to be on TV, and then their congregation, who are just, you know, little nice white Christian people from the South, are going to watch this TV show and see me getting butt fucked, and it's like oh my God,
like even just trying to get it out, she's struggling because it's so many thoughts.
You know, my movie coming out next in a couple weeks, Kinds of Kindness, which I'm so excited about. My one scene in it, I got my titties out, girl. Like it's like, you know, and I have no personal problems with it, but it is something where I'm like, some people just aren't gonna get it, and you know, that's a whole other thing.
How did your parents react when you told them? And also, like, how do you sit your parents down for that? Like, is it after the dinner table? Is it a phone call? Is it a FaceTime?
Yeah.
Is it a letter?
So I didn't tell them that I was in the audition process because I really wasn't sure that I was gonna do it. Because once again, I didn't think acting was my calling or anything. It's not my plan. It wasn't my plan. So I didn't tell them until I had actually gotten the job. Okay. Which kind of left them in a situation because it didn't really give them room to like give their opinions or whatever. But I think they were just like worried because they, you know, they don't come from this world, and sometimes I get really jealous of like
they don't come from this world.
In you know this industry that do have like family in it because I mean there's pros and cons, but and for a lot of reasons I'm really happy that my family is in this completely separate world. But like the guidance part, I think that's what they were worried about. Is I think they, you know, even though they didn't know a lot about it, I think they know the nature of this industry can be very intense, and they just didn't want me to get like fucked up by it, you know.
That's a good point, and it also sucks. Like it's so crazy to think that like your first fucking acting job was Euphoria. Like that is so baller.
Yeah.
But it's also like I get what you're saying. If your family doesn't come from the industry at all, there's also this like natural judgment of like, are you about to fuck your life up?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, are you making the biggest like decision that is gonna like ruin your whole life?
Exactly.
Where like other people that maybe like are more used to it, it's like this is how it goes.
Yeah.
Get the role.
I just had to tell them. I had to be like there. It is. I think I used the word risque, and I don't think
just like a little risky.
And then cut to them at the premiere. Like, I don't think my mom could even watch it. Like, it's, you know, it's insane. It's insane.
You're like, oh my God. It's almost like when you watch a movie with your parents that has a sex scene when you're young.
And you're like,
and you're pretending you're like going to get your ice cream at the time because it's so awkward. Meanwhile, you're like, so that's me.
Yeah.
And I can't run away from this. Oh my God, God bless you, honestly. Like, that is strength within
It's
strength.
so nuts. It's so nuts.
I'm curious though, when you were talking about kind of closing out that like chapter of middle school, obviously everyone needs a fucking outlet of like, I am dealing with all this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I remember reading, like you said you journaled. I don't know if it was in middle school, but like, what did you do to like feel less alone with all these thoughts?
Well, yeah, I think, and it's just part of my nature too, and I think part of like the pressure cooker that I sort of placed myself in growing up in a place where I was so unhappy with my surroundings is I really like devoted my free time and like my life to like my art, and at the time it was visual arts where I put all my creative energy, but I knew that is like my gift is like I'm an artist, and it's still to this day, like I know that that's what I was put on this earth to do, was to like make stuff, but you know, at the time it was visual arts, and so I did everything that I could to just kind of like put all my energy into that, and you know, it ended up being like my first job. Like in high school, my first job was contributing making little watercolor comics for an online magazine and stuff, and so that was like, this is what's gonna get me out of here and get me to where
so
I want to be in life,
It's so, even hearing you say that, it's so hard in general being a child, but like at that point it just sucks because like there are so many kids that get to live their life and be like not having to escape and get to like go to the fucking playground and like frolic around, you being like, I was trying to like use this as an escape so I didn't have to like deal with like what the fuck was going on in reality. Then you get to
I don't
high
think that's what
school.
she said,
Did
and
ever,
you
like,
just put words in her
talk
mouth.
to anyone that you felt like actually understood you?
Well, so I mean, this is the thing, is like when the trans thing started coming up, and that kind of started coming up with the onset of puberty, which I was experiencing severe like levels of anxiety that no like middle schooler, high schooler should be going through at that time, for especially around something that's quote unquote inevitable, and I realized that this like wasn't normal, and then I turned to the internet because I didn't even know what being trans was. I had no idea that there were trans people in the world, and that's the kind of isolating piece of like growing up in the South. Nobody talks about it. There's no people in my line of sight that like are this.
That's so nice because that means that like she in her hometown,
YouTube and found out like,
she's affected so many people just coming out and then
it doesn't have to be my destiny to
being in the public eye and Euphoria, like such a popular show.
But then it's the whole thing of like, okay, now that I know that this is my tea, I have to get everybody else on board because I'm still a fucking kid, so that was harder because I didn't know what it was. My parents didn't know what it was. And that was a bit harder as far as like, there were moments of like when I first came out where like I told them like I'm a girl and they were like, no, you're not. Like but it's not because I think they've always known like deep down, but like they didn't. There's when you don't know like what it is, like there's no way to like real or I don't know, contextualize
Shit.
That. It's like the concept, like when you say that, like to actualize it, like people have a hard time, especially because like you're saying like no one around you guys like you could relate to. So you're coming to your parents with this information, and like obviously some parents are fucking awful when it comes to this, but it sounds like your parents,
they came along.
Right. They were just like, I don't understand what you mean.
Yeah, and I think they started realizing, because with the onset of puberty and everything is where my first, I've dealt with mental health, for a while now, but that's when it first started showing up in depression and anxiety, and my grades started fucking up, and I became, I was becoming a shell of a person, and I think they could see that, and then they were like, shit, okay, this is like, we gotta figure this out,
Right, and that's what's like so heartbreaking for houses that like don't accept their child, because it's like, like let them be who they need to be, because you're right, like you're becoming a shell of a person because you're not like who you authentically know you need to be inside, and everything is telling you one thing, and then everyone's like, no, don't do that.
Well, I think it's out of love, like I think it's like, and I think it's like my parents' first reaction was like that because like they love me, they want me to be okay, and I'm pitching them this insane idea that I wanna chop my dick off and become a woman, like,
oh my God.
And that's a very crude way of putting it, but like just sort of like get my point across, like and I think no one wants anybody that they love to like endure a harder life than they have to, but sometimes that's the fucking tea.
What I love about you, and like even sitting here, your energy is just like so incredible.
She's incredibly nervous.
Like, younger you, obviously, like going through it, but like what kind of like traits, I don't know if that's the right word, but like traits do you think like you gained through like having to really like endure a lot of like turning inward within yourself and like betting on yourself and relying on yourself?
Being trans has been one of the great challenges of my life, and it sucks that I had to deal with it so young, and that I live in a world that is constantly fighting me on that, and it absolutely fucked me up, and I'm still dealing with the ramifications of that today. But at the same time, I would not have it any other way, because it has taught me. That's why I'm so thankful for it. It has taught me that.
To me, it's like it's so weird to say that she's like still dealing with hardships on it, because when I see her, I'm just like, she's a woman. That's it. And we're just getting the story of how she got here.
And
and accept and move on, you know?
Are inside of me, you know, and at least for my truth in my life and whatever, and like that is like priceless, and it's something that I use as, you know, a grounding force in everything that I do in my life now, you know. So yeah, I'm so thankful for it, you know.
No, first of all, like, thank you for sharing all that, because I know it's personal, and I really appreciate you opening up, because like when you're saying the intuition thing within yourself, it almost like made me cry, because I'm like, that is so fucking real.
Yeah.
And so many people watching this are probably gonna like.
That's why I want to share this.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And like just sharing your experience, like that is like so powerful. To be like, lean the fuck into what you feel. Stop listening to what everyone else is saying. I know it's so fucking hard.
Yeah.
But when you can start to channel that, like, we all know what's best for ourselves.
Exactly.
No one else does.
And you can even like, it's so weird, like your layers of like consciousness and everything, because you can totally on surface level be telling yourself something is right for you, when in reality deep down, and you know it's there, but you won't look at it, like you're only looking at this thing that you're telling yourself, but deep down you know, you always know.
Always know.
You know,
you can try to avoid it sometimes.
Yes.
You're like, that's literally
yes, and you literally put yourself in your own psychosis of like believing in this reality that is not actually your truth. It's so crazy.
I also appreciate, like, as we're kind of just going through your life, I wonder, and you don't need to answer, but like, is it annoying sometimes, because like a big part of your life is like this moment that you realize, like, oh, like, I don't know if I'm like happy with the way that I was like born, and I want to be this way, and like I'm so happy with myself now, but like, is it annoying when you're in interviews that like
I've talked about this before,
because I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to ask you about it. That's why I was like, oh, we got to high school in your life. Like, what happened in high school? Like, I would ask anyone on the show, and I hope you know, like, you can talk about it as much or not as much as you want, but like, are you like, can we move on? Like, I'm this like,
so I thought about this today, because I just recently had an interview come out where I fucking this was the longest interview I've ever done. It was 2 like 4-hour sessions, and so I really just I was hyped up on caffeine. I was yapping. I was talking about whatever I wanted to, and I gabbed about how fucking frustrating it is to because like in interviews for
My
like,
God. Her ADD is like
when I'm promoting a movie
so hard to keep up with, even though I feel like I'm ADD too.
Interviewer will ask about, because it's what makes me unique, and they know that it'll get clicks, you know. But what's frustrating to me about that is I'm here to promote my work in a movie that has nothing to do with that, and you are just fishing for things that will get you clicks, and that's what's so frustrating to me about that. This today, what I love about this podcast is that you, like, we're talking about real shit and life and whatever, and I can't really talk about my life in full honesty without talking about it, and it is something I do believe, because
I can't really talk without talking about what?
That I'm like, I don't, like, I didn't really, I knew.
Are you guys tracking?
Want to do, like, with my life often involves fame to some degree. It's not something that I thoroughly enjoy, but I do feel like I have been put in this position in order to help progress like the movement.
But do you ever feel exhausted from that? Like, it's not your fucking job to educate people?
All the time. And that's the thing. I don't like talking about like just like educating people on like the fact, like, bitch, Google is like literally that's how I learned about it, so you can certainly do it too. But as far as like my experience, and also helping other young trans people who might watch this or watch some of my other work, which sometimes I do incorporate my transness into my work. You know, that's who I'm doing it for. You know. Too.
Yeah, I feel like there's a difference between like genuinely and authentically just like speaking about your experience, and people are like, oh, like, I like what she said there, versus being like, So Hunter.
Yeah.
In high school, and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm promoting the Hunger Games. Why
Can
are
you guys-
you asking me
Can
about
we
what it
stay
was like
on
being
track?
a tranny growing up in the
Like-
church? Like, what the fuck are
Hunger
you talking
Games,
about?
bitch.
Yeah.
No, I respect that, and I just wanted to hear from you because
Thank
I
you.
bet it's fucking annoying. Speaking of high school,
Yeah.
did you like dabble with drugs and alcohol at all? Were you like pretty clean? Like,
So, and that's something that I think the church thing that I'm pretty thankful for is I did, I would smoke weed with my friends, and now I've come to learn I fucking hate weed. Is not for me. I cannot smoke it, and I had this really horrible experience with it, like when I was like 18,
Oh my
19
God,
or
what
something,
happened?
where I smoked and I literally thought I was in hell, and then I've never done it again. So I'm like really off of it. That's the only thing that I kind of dabbled with, and then drinking here and there.
Yeah.
But never really getting into it. That's been more of like a early 20s thing.
You need to be like in your room, like by yourself, or that
Yeah.
would be scary, or with one friend that you trust.
Yeah.
And like ease in.
Yes,
Ease
because
in.
that's my thing with weed is like, because some people can just smoke and just like kiki, and bitch, that is not how like when I have smoked weed in the past, I become nonverbal. I'm on the floor and like a creature. Like that's just when I have smoked. That's my tea. That's what I give.
Terrifying.
And
That's
you
my
can't do that
tea.
around, especially
It's my
people you
truth.
don't know. Then you're like psych yourself out, and oh
Like
my God.
Hunter, you're like,
Yeah, I was like, no.
And also they're like, it's weed. Like
Yeah.
it's not that deep.
Yeah.
And you're like, it is that deep.
It is that deep. I think weed is one of the most psychedelic drugs on the fucking planet. I mean, that's a stretch, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah, literally.
it's I think it is very psychedelic.
What the heck was in her
for you.
weed?
I think I read somewhere, but like I don't know if you've ever actually like told the whole story like on a show where I can
No.
hear you.
Yeah.
Tell me the story of how you got the role and like how it all came to be.
I was taking a gap year.
Okay.
And modeling in New York at the time. I got scouted over Instagram, blah, blah, blah. I go to model. I'm like, I want to make some money. That's not what happened, by the way. But I left modeling in debt. But
You can dream.
that's another story. Anyways, I'm doing like my model give, and right as I'm getting ready to like go to college, because that was my plan. I was gonna save up money, whatever, go to college. Then this casting call comes about, and I see it floating around on Instagram, and then my agency tells me that they have asked me to come in. And so this happened with, there are a handful of trans girls working. There's a lot more now. There's like a handful of trans girls working in modeling at the time. We'd all gotten asked to come in for this audition. And I was really like, I don't know, because it's like trans, and it's, not written by a trans, I'm like, I don't know. And then, but I go in because they really want me to, and because I'm like, okay, let's just like see what this is about. And I went in, and by the way, I've no acting experience. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I got in, and the great thing is that they essentially just wanted me to play myself. So I got to basically just like be myself with lines, and I think that whatever it did it worked for them. So I keep getting callbacks. Eventually, they fly me out to LA for like a final audition, in front of all these HBO execs in this crazy room. And then I find out later that afternoon that I got the role, and and I was still teetering on like, was not my plan, and this changes everything. And I have to be completely honest. Then I saw the paycheck, the per episode, and I was like, this is more money than I've ever seen in my whole entire life. I don't think I can say no to this. And frankly, at that point, I had also read more of the episodes. I really liked the show, So it's like a combination of those things. And I really liked the showrunner Sam. We had really good meetings, and I was like, okay, I feel like, and it's the same thing that keeps happening where I'm being handed this thing. I think I have to take it, and so I did.
It's so crazy that like you had no interest in fame, and obviously, like, I'm assuming, like, once you took the show, you guys didn't know it was gonna be, like, what it was gonna be.
So, well, I think we all knew it was something special when we were making it. We all, like, we loved the first season. Oh, it was so magical. Like, we all loved it so much. And we still, like, we look back on it as like, wow, like we all got to grow up inside of this thing together. It's really special. But yeah, we didn't know that it was going to become what it did. Yeah.
Can you, like, take me to that moment where you're, like, realizing, like, the show's out, fame is happening, everyone knows your name, like...
Yeah, it's one of the most surreal things I've ever been through because because you're still the same person. So I'm still the same person, but then the entire world's relationship to you changes like that. And it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was really, it threw me for a fucking loop. And thank God we all, the cast and I, came up in this together, and we were able to like lean on each other in this just like really surreal experience. Because I don't know how I could have fucking handled it if.
Oh my God, that reminds me of Hermione.
If I didn't have them.
When she was like all alone growing up in Harry Potter.
Who's one of my best friends in the world to this day, Zendaya. And she, you know, thankfully she had some experience with fame already, and we were really close by the time we really like kind of, you know, fell in love with each other as friends in the first season, and she was able to help me through all of that too. But it was very surreal, and I wouldn't say I had no interest in fame because I knew fame could get me the things that I wanted to do in life, and I knew that could be a tool, but it's not like I had any and I still don't really have any personal, like, I don't personally gain anything from it. If anything, it's just like made existing in public a little harder as a socially anxious person, but like but it's an amazing tool to like get what I want and to make what I want happen.
No, it's so interesting you say that because
Is it interesting? Because that's like all you say.
They want fame and money, but if you just hand them money, then they actually don't even need the fame.
That part, right? Because like, bitch, if I could walk away from all of this with the money and not have life would be perfect.
And some people like it. Like, I get that, but like,
yeah, some people do, and some people are meant for it. Some people were like this is what you were supposed to do.
Do you have a moment where you were like found yourself like very overwhelmed by it all and you like were shutting down?
So I remember some of the first moments of getting recognized in public happening. Like, I think me and Barbie were at a cafe, and you know, the first like 4 episodes or something were out, and it hadn't really started. But then but we're just at a cafe minding our own business, and then we have people start coming up to us, and it's the first time this has ever happened to me, and it's just really surreal. And then I think the moment that I really realized things were changing was I was in New York doing press, and it's one of those interviews, I forget what it's called, but it's like kind of public because they do the interview in this like corner glass.
Oh, like the Today Show vibe, where it's like
the Today Show.
But like people can see you.
People can see you from the inside. And you know, so I walk in to do this interview and everything's kind of normal. And then by the time I come out from doing the interview, a crowd and paparazzi have amassed, and then we get followed around, and my mom is there with me too, and we get followed around by these paparazzi for the rest of the day. And just coming from what I come, like, and it was, I couldn't fucking process it. And it's scary, because like getting followed and having people scream at you and stuff, it puts you in like
abnormal,
like a fight or flight. Like it's like because you know you can understand on a surface level what's happening, but your body doesn't know that,
and you feel like you're in a cage because you're like, well, I can't open my car door.
Exactly.
So you're just kind of like, I'm sad.
Yeah.
Is your mom like, what the fuck?
I mean, my mom was great because I think she knew that I was really overwhelmed. So she was just there for me.
Yeah.
But I think we both at the end of that day were just like, what the
was
fuck
that?
just happened? Yeah. And then, you know, it's kind of never been the same sense.
Well, and I appreciate you sharing, like, you're like, I'm a socially anxious person.
Yeah.
So, like, naturally, this isn't something that I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, how do you, in moments where your life is feeling too Hollywood, like, how do you come back to being, like, Hunter yourself, not, like, Hunter Schafer, like, Prada, Vogue, all the things?
Yeah, and it's taken a while, but I've created this dichotomy between the Hunter Schafer that I give to the world, and then, like, Hunty, who, that's what my friends call me and everything. Like those are two different people. And so the famous Hunter is kind of like my drag, and having those be separate is so important for my fucking sanity. And it's also, it's one of my greatest gifts in this life is I have wonderful, wonderful friends and family. And they're people, a lot of them have been around before I got famous, and so they know me and you know can't really project my drag onto me. Like they know me for me, and so having them there is just like priceless. Yeah,
that's amazing that you've like been able to figure that out pretty quickly, because that takes some people like a really long time.
It was not quick.
Right. Okay, well, even though like you don't think it's quick, some people literally get to the point where like at the end of their career they're like, I should have like disconnected more. And I do think, thank God, you have your friends and family that are like, you're Hunty, bitch. Don't forget it. Okay, we're gonna treat you like you're just Hunty and you're not Hunter Schafer. We're not gonna treat you different, because that causes people to become monsters, that they're like, do this for me and do this for me, and then you're not even a real human, you're a robot.
No, you're like, it's psycho, and it's sad to watch.
It's
psycho. You do watch it happen to people sometimes. Yeah.
Obviously, I have to ask, is season 3 happening? Like, what are we doing?
Girl, you know, obviously, the real tea is I have no fucking idea what's going on. And you can ask literally all of the cast. And it's, you know, I mean, here's the real tea is that a lot has happened.
Who uses that?
And knowing where the rest of the cast is at and everything too, I mean, a lot has happened. We have had, and it's hard to talk about, but, you know, we've had deaths.
Yeah.
Girl, gonna get emotional. And, it's, I think everyone feels a certain, sense of, oh, girl, sorry, anticipation, for, like, if we are supposed to do this season 3 of, like, obviously, I'm still coming to qualms with what's happened, and losing people that we, really loved and were a part of this family and everything, you know,
Did
and I think
several people die? I thought it was just August.
Back, that's gonna be tough. I mean, and I think there's a world in which we can channel that into making it a beautiful season 3 if it is supposed to happen. But I think, you know, that shit really threw everyone for a loop. So I mean, on an emotional level, and then there's, you know, all these, you know, industry, whatever, political things that go into whether or not this is happening, but that's emotionally
Just Angus Cloud.
a big part of what's happening. Yeah, too, you know.
I'm so fucking sorry, and like it clearly, like, you were obviously so close. When you even talk about the cast, I'm just so sorry, because like when you talk about like this rise, like this became like your family. Like these are people that you were like, fuck, I don't know how to handle this, none of us know how to handle this, let's all lean on each other. So like I can't imagine, and I'm so sorry, and like
thank you.
There is no right or wrong whether you guys come back or don't. Like it's been one of the most incredible rides, and you guys have done such an incredible job, and like thank you for giving your life to something that has like really brought so many people like entertainment and happiness, and like there's a lot of themes that I think people have like loved that are very progressive and have just like helped a lot of people. So whether it comes back or not,
thank you.
We love you all.
Thank you.
And we support you.
Thank you. And thank you for being real with me and let me give my emotional tea or whatever, because I'm still in it, girl. It's crazy.
Grief is a motherfucker, and it's not linear, and some days you'll see a picture in it, or like a thing in the street, and you're like,
it'll hit me on the fucking toilet out of nowhere. It's just like, you know, it's
never know.
crazy.
You never know. Okay, I'm gonna shift our energy and we're gonna play Would You Rather.
Oh shit.
And then we're gonna get into dating.
Okay, yeah. We're reorienting.
Okay. Here we go. We're gonna play Would You Rather. Would you rather wear Euphoria style makeup every day for the rest of your life or never wear makeup again?
Never wear makeup again. Easy. No shade to Euphoria makeup.
No,
I just am a no makeup girl.
Love it.
Yeah.
You're gorgeous.
Thank you.
Okay. Would you rather send a nude to the wrong person or accidentally send a sext to your mother?
That's insane, Alex Cooper. That's such a fucking crazy question. I would. Well, it depends on who's getting the nude. Because like my friends and I, like we get, you know, they see me naked. It's no big deal.
You might be like, you send it to an ex.
But what if I fucking send it to my mom? Then that's might just be as bad as the sex. You know, I think, you know, my mom has seen me get butt fucked on television. I think she can handle an accidental sext, and we can recover from that.
I love that. That says so much about you and your
What
mom.
would you do?
Honestly, I guess I was gonna say the nude, but again, it depends who it's to. Because if like I'm looking cute, like like it's like accidentally I sent it to an ex, I'm like But
right, that's
right, you're like,
know,
not bad. But if it's to like a coworker
or like a producer, an executive, no ma'am, absolutely not.
I think my mom, depending on the level of the sex, like if it's like a choke on your cock situation, I'm like, Mom,
this is such a crazy question.
I'm glad I wrote it. I'm like, what is wrong with me?
I pray for both of us that we never have to deal with that.
Me too.
Oh my gosh, this is getting so long. How long is this interview? I was like, let's find the longest one, and now I'm kind of regretting it because I'm tired.
Moments with it. It's never ideal, I would say.
It's exhausting.
It's
for me
Oh
personally.
my god.
I hate texting in general.
There's like another 40 minutes. How is that possible?
If we're gonna talk, FaceTime me. You know, I'm a FaceTime girl.
You know what? We're gonna go double time. I'm sorry, I can't deal with it anymore. Like it's taking way too long, and that way it'll be.
Absolutely.
Perfect use of your time.
Yes.
You're like, ooh, let me go into the storage closet. Let me pick out which one I'm loving today.
Go to the library, pick it out. Yeah, get that shit out there.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Drunkenly hook up with a friend who you know has feelings for you, and you don't have feelings back, or you have to get back with your most recent ex for a month.
Okay, actually, you know what? No, like my friendships, especially a lot of I come from a lot of lesbians in my circle, and I don't know how many lesbians you've talked to, but most of everybody has already had sex with each other, and probably will again, and that is very much the case for me, right? Like lesbian friend group. So that would probably be no problem if that happened.
Easier. Okay. Have you ever hooked up with a friend and regretted it?
I don't know. I don't really regret too much.
Okay.
No, I mean, I've definitely like drunkenly done things where I'm like, oh girl, like that, like that didn't need to happen. But it's not. No shade. No, nothing.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
What is going on in your dating life? Are we single
right now?
Are we dating?
No, I'm single as fuck.
Okay. Are you loving it?
I am loving it. So yeah. So I mean, you know, like I think it is perfect for where I'm at in life right now. Because especially given this past week's stuff, where I am about to undertake this enormous project. And the last time I did it, you know, I was in my first relationship when I first started Euphoria, and I didn't know going into it how much of me it takes, and I really live in that world when I'm doing it. And you know, like that relationship didn't end up working out because I just had no capacity to like do a relationship. So I think it is so perfect that I'm single as a Pringle right now, because I get to just dive head first into this. Yeah, my last relationship was like. It's where we hit the year mark a little bit ago, since we broke up. So yeah.
Do you prefer someone in the industry or not in the industry?
It's not really I mean, it's still tough, and I still like don't totally know, but you know, because I've done both, and they both are really nice for their own reasons. Because obviously, and I have this with my friendships too, where like my job and my life that I live requires me to be on standby all the time. I found out that I'm spending the rest of the year in Europe, like not even a week ago. And you know, it's hard to maintain relationships. And so the people that have stuck around in my life know that I operate on this level where like, you know, and it's all like my best friendships are like this, where like we can go a month or however long and not talk, and then when I come back, or when they come back, we can pick right back up where we left off. That's how I operate in my relationships. Like it's just how it is right now. And so yeah, like with relationships too, it's nice dating other people in the industry because they also work like that.
Right. So I get it. Like they're not going to be annoyed that you're like leaving for a certain amount of time.
Whereas I've had friendships end because they're just like, girl, like
where are
what's
you?
where are you? Yeah.
I work.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What is the best first date you've ever been on?
Best first date I've ever been. So the dates is like not. I'm just now getting into like the era of my life where like I'm an adult and I feel like more like the idea of someone asking me on a date or me asking someone on a date, like a first date where you go to dinner and you like get to know each other. Like I haven't done a whole lot. Like a lot of like my previous stuff is like we start out as friends or random hookup, blah 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 blah. And then it turns into whatever it is. But I would like the dating thing. It sounds fun.
Take note, okay?
So
Did you
go on a
fucking
first date with your husband?
I did. It was like the best first date I ever had.
Yeah.
Which is annoying because I hate that. Like I feel like some dates can be great first dates and then they like turn out to be fucking shit. It turns out that he wasn't a dick. He actually was a lovely guy and I ended up marrying him. But I've had good first dates, but I've had awful first dates before. I also think like it is more normal sometimes to just like go from friends and then all of a sudden you're just like hanging out at your house, your apartment, and like that's fine too.
Yeah.
Have you ever had it where like after a first hookup you're like, oh my fucking god, the chemistry was so insane. Like I must see this person again.
Yeah.
So you've had that before.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. And that tends to be when those like what will turn into a relationship. Yeah.
Okay, who is currently your celebrity crush?
Oh God. Oh God. Let's see. Who is
Not offensive to say that you want to run into that scene.
Oh no. Let's see. Alex, I don't know. I can't like say this stuff.
Actor?
I'm trying to think.
Musician?
No. Well, I have a type. Like,
Okay. What's your type?
musicians? I love a musician.
True.
I've dated a couple now.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that.
I've dated a few now. I love a musician.
One with like long hair, one with like short hair.
You know, it's like the little sucker in me that's just like, oh my god, you are so charismatic and you will
Oh my God.
play the guitar, whatever. And I'm like, Google Gaga.
Has anyone ever written you a song?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and trust me, they know what they're doing too. They know what they're doing with that, but it works. Diva. Oh my
Like
god.
on the guitar, just like sitting on the bed.
You know, yeah, or like send it to you. Like yeah, it works. I have fear for anyone who has this happen to them because you're done. You're gone. You're
done.
Yeah.
If you meet another musician, do you think you're gonna be like, I have to break the curse and the pattern, or are you gonna go back? Are you talking about musicians right now? Like, if you find a musician that you like again,
Yeah.
are you gonna just go right back in?
Oh, girl. I mean, no. So like the thing that's tough with musicians, or at least in like my line, or like with successful musicians who are like doing tours and stuff, is like it's. I mean, and it's. I guess it's the same thing with actors where they have to go off for however many months and tour, and then I'm working for how it's like it's very hard. So I don't know if that is like in my path again because I've done it and I've tried it and really tried to make it work, and it's just very hard. And I don't have, at least at this point in my life, I don't have the capacity to like figure out how that works. Maybe someday though. We'll see.
Do you like how I like let you off the hook? I'm like, okay, you don't have to answer.
I really wanted to give an answer,
You'll
but
tell me
it's
after.
like
You'll tell me after.
Yeah.
Do you fall in love easily?
So I don't know, like falling in love is like so like it's so, I'm still like figuring out like what it means because I've been in love with people who are like still some of my best friends to this day, and like we were definitely like in love at that point, but it's changed in its nature, and I still love the shit out of this person, but it's not like that infatuation. So I feel there's a part of me that's like, is being in love like just a deep infatuation, and then like that sort of subsides, and then it just becomes like you just love this person. I don't know. It's sort of funny, but I know what being in love. It's like a whole body, like you know, right?
Yeah. But I think that makes sense. I think you're like at that point in your life where you're like experiencing these relationships.
I've been through it enough now.
Yes, but like you may find someone at some point that you're like, oh.
Oh my God, I thought this was gonna be easier.
When you're like, oh wait, because love for me when I was younger, like it really, I went through a point where it was just infatuation. Then I was like, is this love or is this infatuation? And then I think when I met Matt, I was like, oh, this is like different.
Yeah. With my past relationships, I've been like, we were in love. Like I know what that is.
Yeah.
And
20 more minutes.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, because it feels different with every partner. Also.
Yeah, and I also don't believe in like one true love necessarily.
No, I completely agree. How do you handle when people like public opinion on your like romantic relationships?
That is something
Who
that
cares?
I have learned is so my last relationship was my first public relationship. I don't know if I'll ever do it again. At some point when you're doing it, it gets just too hard to like. I mean, you can try to hide, but like whatever. But I've also come to this point just with fame in general, where like people are gonna say what they're gonna say, and I really don't give a shit. Because like I get called a man hundreds of times on the internet every single. It's like I'm so used to like the just fucking idiots just like saying just bullshit all the time. So like it's on one hand it's like I don't care, and then on another hand it's like if you don't like obviously a relationship is like personal and private, and like you should not be. You need to eliminate as many factors that are going to make it more complicated than it needs to be if you can. So I don't know. It's something when I start dating again or something.
Well, I think it's interesting too. Like you said, like this was your first like public relationship, and I think there's pros and cons where you're like finally we can just like be, and like we can go into an event together, like as we would want to naturally do, but then like people are taking pictures and then people are staring.
Yes.
And then when you break up, someone like me is asking about it,
girl.
and you're like, Alex, don't ask.
Well, no, I'm excited to be talking about love and everything. Like it's not like things that I don't want to talk about necessarily.
Right.
Like I've learned a lot. It's something that I really love about all my relationships is I've like, you know, even if like bad shit has happened in them or whatever, or they have like fucked me up to some degree or something, that they've all, I feel like all of my relationships I've come out knowing that it taught me something about myself and about people, and that's like I feel really thankful for that, you know.
Absolutely. I feel like that's like the best takeaway from any relationship, anything in life, even if it's not romantic. It's a friendship, it's a work relationship. When I was researching you, I was reading something where like your former co-star slash relationship, he kind of like talked about like his need for like to get out of like his codependent tendencies.
Yes.
I'm sure you read this.
Yeah.
Were you on the same page? Like, is a breakup like where you're like blindsided or like were you okay? Like,
so like he said that but that breakup was it was like a mutually like it was a mutually agreed upon, and it's one of the cleaner breakups I've had of like we both recognize that this is not working and we can't do this, we gotta go our own separate ways, and it was so hard because we really loved each other, you know, and he's a really special person and I love his soul and everything, and it by no means was that relation that was it was messy, you know, but it was a clean parting, and he has a lot to work on, and I also have a lot to work on, like and so I think that's also why I'm in this like era of like I gotta figure my shit out, because we had a really good thing, but there were things in our own selves that had nothing to do with each other that kept
You know, it's often said that like people are compatible by their traumas. You need like trauma compatibility to like
it's really
stick together, last together.
Kind of person too, because I used to exclusively date not men, and this last relationship was my first relationship with a man, a cis man, you know, and so it's different. It's very different than like dating. I've dated trans women, I've dated trans men, I've dated cis women, and all, you know, I've kind of been around the block, and it changes. The transness is really interesting because everyone interacts with it differently. Everyone has their own like, you know, like way of approaching it, and I have my own way of approaching that relationship with that kind of person. It's interesting. It's
do you mind sharing?
Yeah, no, I'm excited to like talk about
this is interesting.
Yeah, so I'm so thankful for my first relationship, and I've talked about this before too. It was with a trans woman, and it was my entrance into sex, romance, all of that stuff. All of those were first in that relationship, and it was with another trans woman. Thank God. And I'm so and we're still friends to this day too. You know, she kind of like showed me the ropes, because you know, dating as a trans person it's complicated. Let me tell you, it's not easy. And to know in my first relationship and in my first like really being in this mutual love thing, you know, first time having sex, that I got to do it with somebody who completely understands my gender and sexual. Oh, I'm so thankful for it. And so I'm really thankful that I started out with other trans people, because there's sort of being trans or having trans people in your life. There's a lens that you sort of acquire, and it's something that like ignorant people who have no idea how to like engage with trans people or think about trans people, they don't have the lens that allows them to see whatever person as the gender that they are presenting as or whatever. And this is a lens that you acquire as you like, you know, spend more time with trans people and everything. And so like knowing that lens is there with whoever I was with, amazing. And then it's interesting branching out from there into like cis people, cis women or cis men, where I'm not sure that they have the lens, even with hookups or whatever. And this is a constant anxiety I've had with hooking up with like cis women or something, is that I'm worried, especially also because I'm pre-op, that maybe are they seeing something in me that is not part of what I give or something, and they might want, and I've had hookups before with like cis women where they wanted me to like fuck them or something, like a guy, and it's because I have a dick, and like that's like, and then like that coming up in a hookup and being like, oh god, like it's
Wait,
tough.
what?
But then you will find cis people who do know and just get it, and that's what was so amazing about
What?
do know it, that coming up in a hookup. I did like before with what I give or something, that I'm pre-op, that a constant anxiety I've had with hooking up with the lens, even with hookups or whatever. And this is a constant anxiety I've had with hooking up with like cis women or something, is that I'm worried, especially also because I'm pre-op, that maybe are they seeing something in me that is not part of what I give or something, and they might want, and I've had hookups before with like cis women where they wanted me to like fuck them or something, like a guy, and it's because I have a dick, and like that's like, and then like that coming up in a hookup and being like, oh god, like it's tough. But then you will find cis people who do know and just get it, and that's what was so amazing about my ex-boyfriend, was from the get-go, never a fucking, he saw me exactly for who I was, which is amazing.
It's amazing too. I appreciate you describing this too, because like
it's kind of hard to.
No, but like I'm keeping up with you, because what first of all, I'm so happy for you. I know everyone doesn't have that experience experience is like the fact that you were with someone you felt so safe with, and you were like, oh, you get me because we're similar.
So it's a privilege to come across people in romance and sex and dating where that lens is there.
If someone understandably is like, I don't know, like what you want, and they come to you like vulnerable, like I really like you, like are you open to like that's such a turn on?
Oh my god! Like
tell me what you want.
They are coming because you know it puts their intention on the table of oh I like you, I do want to do this with you. I'm just a little inexperienced here. Love that, amazing. It's when they don't and they don't know what they want or they want something that like I am not capable of giving. Then it's like sticky and gross.
So your first relationship with a guy, like just like a guy that was
also my first monogamous relationship.
Okay.
Everything else had been polyamorous because that's what I came up in. That's how I learned relationships. And I kind of touched on it before. I built up a complex against men.
Understandable.
And so like because most if not all of my deeply painful experiences I've had in life have been with men. And so I really like came into this complex of I never want to let a man that close to me in my life. I don't see a world in which it's possible. Really, I was kind of like it was you know I put up walls and kind of had been denying the fact that I am attracted to men and I do want to date and whatever men and that's okay and I need to let my walls down. And so that's what was so amazing about my last relationship too is also and that's kind of what was cool about the public aspect is this is a straight guy who is in the music scene too and we're in a public relationship. He's dating a trans woman, and he's completely straight. He's only dated cis women before, and he's toting me around, happy to be my boyfriend in front of the world. And people are saying horrible, nasty shit because it's like, oh, you know, oh, you're so gay. Da, 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 da. He didn't care at all, and that was something that really showed me too, where I'm like, okay, you really.
Yeah.
You see me for you know, and you love me for that.
Did you guys have conversations before going out in public together? Like, were you anxious at all?
I was anxious, but I was also just head over heels in love and happy to be doing it. And you know, conversations absolutely should have been happening, but also I was like 22, 23, and you know, I was just like, I'm in love, right? This person is this is so much fun, you know, whatever. So it should have been a thing, but it wasn't.
But I think also just to
and listen, I've said all these amazing things, and then he was not perfect, and it's no secret. It's out there in the world, you know, and it's part of why the relationship ended. Is I got cheated on for the first time, and he's talked about this too, like in his song. You know, he writes about it, so it's fine to be talking about it today, and it's like part of my truth. But that like fundamentally changed me as a person, and it was this whole process of like realizing that cheating has nothing to do with you at all, and it has everything to do with that person and whatever kind of pain they're in or whatever they're dealing with. It's all of that, but it's so hard.
I would say because in the moment it feels like it's all you.
Yes.
You're like, what did I do wrong? And then eventually, I love that you're obviously like a year out. You're clearly at that place where you're like, I can, you know that, and you're saying with confidence. But in the moment, you're literally like,
oh yeah. And then as a trans woman, also with a man who has never dated that before, then it's my mind, you know. And I knew it wasn't the truth, and we both know that. I've no doubt.
But you can't help but your brain goes
there. My brain, because of the way I've been socialized as a trans woman, like, and it's been this like crux in my life of like why life has been so hard sometimes. I'm like, oh my god, like is this it? Like, can I just not like you know?
Yeah.
But so it's cuckoo bananas.
How did you find out?
So I kind of knew. You know, you always get the gut. Yeah, the gut. And because I kind of knew, I went into the pill. You know, which I'm not proud of.
I'm not proud of either. I've done it before, but the amount of people that have sat here and been like, it's fucking normal. Because when your intuition is like hitting you in the face, you're like, okay, fine, I'll look. Yeah. And the reason you're looking is because you fucking kind of know something.
Yeah. And this stuff, it makes me so nervous to talk about this stuff because I have no interest in letting the public into what happened and everything. I want to make this very clear. I have absolutely no fucking desire to like because what happened with that was between me and him, and I want to keep it and I want to protect that. But at the same time, I'm also like I'm here to talk about my truth and whatever, you know.
And he was wrong, and like yes, and I agree with you. I also think like I wish people knew sometimes like some things like are super